Okay, quick video for myself, Harvey Goldman. No cuts, no edits, no filters, and no hair. So as you can see, day after the hernia op, well, 16 hours, I've got my fashionable DVT stockings on. And yeah, let's risk it for a quick walk. So, my understanding is that the operation went as well as can be expected. It turns out it was actually a birth defect that caused it. So it wasn't anything that I did in the gym, which was what I suspected. It's simply a birth defect that got exacerbated by obviously a bit of lifestyle and training, but it's always been there. It wasn't anything that I tore or ripped during a workout. The damage was already there from when I was born. So there you go. Fantastic stuff. So yeah, to all intents and purposes, I'm back on the mend. I've resisted the temptation to take any of the painkillers yet, and that's not me trying to be big and hard. That is literally just because it's Codamol, and I don't like the way that you kind of feel furry when you're on it, and I don't like the way that you come off it. So I'm going to try and resist taking them at all if I can, and just stick to like super strong ibuprofen. And see how I get on with that. So yeah, slow going today. Definitely not pacing it on this walk. So I thought I'd do 20-30 minutes, being that I can't go to a gym and lift anything. And at least I'm out getting some fresh air. And you know, it's better than being sat on the couch watching Netflix and eating Doritos. So today's video, yeah, Healthspan. I got to watch my laughing. Yeah, so Healthspan and how it's so important. So I made a decision about almost 12 years ago to the day. It was around the 12th of July, I think it was, 12 years back. So I made the decision to consciously give up drinking, give up smoking, and basically, yeah, cut all of that out of my life. I still eat junk food and, you know, and all the rest of it. I'm not a complete none, but I did make the decision to give up drinking, give up smoking, concentrate just on looking after my kids, and spending all that money, probably thousands a year, to be fair, thinking about it, on other things like experiences for them. Now, that was the motivation for doing it. The motivation for doing it wasn't for my health. It was just to have more free income to be able to do stuff with my kids as a single parent. Now, the last thing that they want to do is go anywhere with dad, because dad's not cool, despite these glasses. So, you know, that stayed. I no longer want to ever drink again. Can't imagine that I'll ever smoke again. And now I'm doing it for health. And the reason being that I think genetically my family are quite hardy. Ancestors, like, you know, grandparents and great-grandparents, they've tended just to go a little bit mental towards the end of the 70s, and then they last until like the end of the 80s, and then that's it, gone. So we're not afflicted by genetic, you know, heart diseases, cancers. I think there's been 2 incidences of cancer, but we're not basically afflicted by much in the way of illness, which is really good. It just tends to be more mental acuity that disappears. But yeah, I think protecting your health span as you get older, especially into like your 50s, your 60s, when you really feel the need to grab the bull by the horns and start living more of your life. It might be that your kids have flown the coop at that point, so you've got more of your time back, you're more settled in your job, maybe you've made a bit of money and you're not working all the hours God sends to chase it. So you've got time. And it's about being able to enjoy that time, being able to use it to do things that you want to do. serve yourself with that time. Don't serve a master. Now, obviously, in retrospect, I've overworked myself at various different points in my life, and it's always ended up the same way. It's always ended up with me either just crashing and thinking, meh, why bother? And then needing time out to get my mental state back. Or, you know, you suffer that physical burnout, where you just can't go on. You end up needing like a couple of days off sick just to get over being up all the time, working all the time. If your job's physical, you know, it can absolutely destroy you, especially if you're trying to put gym workouts in as well. And for me, gym workouts are something that keep me sane. They keep me focused. When I gave up drinking and smoking, the first thing that I did, literally the day after I quit, was take out a gym membership. And I've never really missed a day. I can probably count the number of days that I've missed in 12 years, probably on two hands. And that's not even a lie. I mean, even Christmas morning, I'm at the gym. I literally do not take days off. So something has to be broken or worse for me to miss a day. And it is what keeps me sane. It keeps me grounded. I don't use it for social interaction. I don't film my workouts for clout or anything like that. It is literally just to serve me. And I think as you get a little bit older especially, I think you do need to be a bit more selfish with your time. I certainly think that you need to measure who you give your time to, because ultimately there are people out there that aren't worth your time. They're really not. They're vampires, they're leeches. They use your time to benefit themselves. And the same way that your boss in your 9-to-5 job uses your time to free up his own. He buys your time to make his own life better and his own time more available. So with Healthspan though, there are different things that you can do. You don't have to do gym workouts. It could just be this, a morning walk. Now this doesn't do anything for me. Let's not make any bones about it. I'm not looking at starting being like a morning walker. You'll see joggers running by and all sorts, but it's not for me. So I much prefer just being in a building with my weights, staring at the mirror, and just pumping out dumbbells. But you've got to find what works for you. For some people, it might be jiu-jitsu, something a bit more tactical, a bit more like physical chess. For other people, it might not. Other people might prefer something like yoga or Pilates or swimming, like the softer side. It's whatever meets your ends, basically. You've got to do what fits your schedule, what fits your ability, and what fits your physical and mental need. I know that I absolutely do admire people that do yoga, Pilates, and those types of fitness. I could never do it myself. It's just not for me. I know. I've tried. It doesn't hit the spot, not in the same way that weights do. Now, as I get older, that might change. As I become, into my 50s, into my 60s, I'm under no illusion that I'm going to be able to maintain the same level of training and weightlifting that I do now. It's physically never going to happen. So you need to adjust. You need to adjust, and you need to basically level things according to where you're at in your life. But it is increasingly important to look after your health span. You don't want those years after retirement to be riddled with illness. I mean, people now are in their 20s getting diabetes. And yeah, fair enough. Some of it, people might be genetically predisposed to that type of thing, but let's face it, most of it is just people being lazy and diets being crap. Let's make no bones about it. That's the cause of most of the health issues An awful lot of the cancers that people get, it's because of bad diet and bad lifestyle choices. And these things only get worse as you get older. Your body's less able to fight off illness and infection. It's slower to repair itself. So all of these things have a massive impact. And yeah, so I'm just walking up a seawall. So all of these things have a massive impact on the way that your body works, and age being the main one. It's about keeping everything tuned. So, look, what are your thoughts on this? I'm sure that there are people out there of all ages that have got their own little regimes, their own methods and ways of dealing with stuff. I know that from my 20s to probably my mid-30s, I was doing MMA, Thai boxing, very physical, high-impact sports, lots of aggression, because I had lots of aggression. Obviously, your test levels are quite high up until like your mid-30s to 40s. Then you hit 40 and you're like, nah, you become a bit more passive. I think your T levels drop marginally, and it becomes more about maintenance rather than building. You know, you can build muscle into your 50s and even your 60s, but it's difficult, and it's not without its challenges. Obviously, you're more prone to injury unless you're very careful. So, but yeah, what are your thoughts on this? Really keen to find out what you guys do for your fitness, for your health span, how you protect it, if you bother at all. Maybe you're genetically gifted and you don't need to. You know, there are people out there that drink at the weekend, that smoke every day, and they go through life, they get 0 diabetes, 0 cancer, and they look fine. You know, it's one of those, who can say? We're all built different, aren't we? But look, drop it in the comments, let me know. I've just done a lap of the seafront, so I'm gonna do another one, probably very slowly, and then I think that's my health span done for the day. So there you go. Anyway, like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell, all that jazz, and I'm sure there'll be another video tomorrow. Goldman, peace out.